evening. Welcome to Q&A. I'm Tony Jones, answering your questions tonight. Journalist and author David Marr, award-winning stage and film actress Jackie Weaver, celebrated Australian writer, satirist and actor Barry Humphries, English actress and champion of Dickens women Miriam Margolyes, and former leader of the Liberal Party, John Hewson. Please welcome our panel. I'd hate to see the competition. The next question is a video. It's from Newton Gatoff in Bentley, East Victoria.
G'day, mate. In a country where women are the richest in business and most powerful in politics, has the Ozzie machismo lost its mojo on the international stage?
Barry, that was a question right out of the 1970s.
And that man was really trying, wasn't he? Machismo.
You don't have any thoughts?
I was so interested in the performance, I didn't hear a word he said.
I think the essence of it was too many powerful women in Australia for Australian males to express themselves in the same way as they have in the past. What do you think about that?
Absolute bollocks.
Well, ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's a silly question.
Really silly.
And
Jackie, also...
It comes from a man who lives in a horrible suburb, by the way, Bentley. Bentley.
I'm sorry, my apologies to the people of Bentley. The views expressed by our panellists are not reflected in what the ABC believes about it.
The ABC has never heard of Bentley.
We certainly have, Barry. That's completely wrong. Do you have any sense of the Australian male on the world stage, Miriam?
Very little, I have to be honest. There's a cyclist, isn't there, whose mojo is powerful.
Cadell Evans, yes.
Yes, wonderful.
From Bentley.
Wonderful. He looks so good on a cycle as opposed to the other puny little gentleman that we referred to, Mr. Abbott, I believe is his name, who's also a cyclist of some repute.
He's not exactly puny if you were to see him up close.
Thank goodness I never have.
Mind you, Julia would be interesting on a bike.
Hear, hear.
Just get a mental picture of that.
OK, I mentioned Germaine Greer on this show not so long ago, and I don't really want to go any further into that territory. David...
You're not.
No, she had a bit of an issue with the Prime
Minister's... I know, but it was not nicely expressed, I didn't think. I thought I got it better.
You did.
You're certainly more subtle, that's for sure. David, Australian men, have they changed a lot?
No, what is this rubbish? I mean, the international stage... I mean, this is the Australian male on the international stage, and it's embarrassing enough. Him and an Olympic cyclist, and that's all we've got. Poor Australia. And with Bob Carr as our foreign minister. Bob Carr on the foreign stage, and yes, and he's certainly fit, lean, and full of fight.
So he works for a funeral parlour.
What about...
OK, let's move on quickly. We have questions from the audience. People are too afraid to put their hands up.
It must have nudged $1 million, wouldn't it?
No, I got close to 1.2 million, actually.
1.2 million?
Yeah.
I think it's the best Q&A they've ever had in figures.
Yeah, look, it sparkled. There were a few sort of dull patches, but that's to be expected. And I thought Tony Jones would probably flounder a bit, but he didn't.
No, he got in the spirit of it. Yeah. But
Tony Jones kept it going, and the audience participated in it, and Barry Humphries was his usual cheeky self.
Well, you wonder, every pause you wondered what was coming next, didn't you? I mean, if you're on the edge of your seat for an hour thinking, oh, my God, what's coming next?
Yes, and you could see him sort of the body sway, and you look towards Jackie Weaver or David Marr, or look back to what's he just drift over, and he'd come up.
I was talking to Jackie today about it. I said Barry Humphries sort of used you as a one-person audience for a while there. She adored it. She thought it was fantastic, you know.
Yes. And look, the the line that I really liked out of it all was describing Queensland as the Western Australia of the North.
Yeah, very clever, very good. Yeah, so, but then you realise how they get off track sometimes when at the end Tony Jones says, and now next week we'll have him and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's going to be boring.
Yes, look, they've had two. The one before Q&A last week when they had the writers on, especially Glenn Carl,
yes,
the former CIO. That was, I found that interesting. Not as sort of funny as last night, but stimulating. These two have been amongst the two of the best this year because there's been an absence of politicians, and I don't call John Huston so much a politician.
No.
I liked his line yesterday about any regrets.
Yeah.
Yes, a birthday
cake. Do you know, when he was waiting there, I thought, I hope he says birthday cake, because that was the truth. When he couldn't tell Mike Willesee what the GST would be on a birthday cake. He started talking about the icing and the candles and the wrapping, and he got it. And we think that lost him the election. All right, Glenn, thanks. I appreciate it. I'll take some calls from people. Thank you, Glenn.
Okay, Darren, cheers.
Bye-bye. Glenn Dyer from Crikey, TV commentator. Tim, good afternoon.
Darren, how are you? Good show.
Thank you.
I watched it last night. I thought it was very gripping. I got 2 or 3 things out of it. I didn't realise just how intelligent Barry Humphries is.
Oh, he is, yeah.
And he reads personality so well, and his timing is absolutely perfect. He comes back with a remark with the same personality 1, then he jumps to number 3, and his timing is just absolutely...
In my lifetime, I would think probably Barry Humphries was the greatest talent we've ever produced.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I'd say that.
And also, John Huston was on last night.
Yeah.
He does really very little for me.
He was in a different league. He had to concede to that. I felt a bit sorry for him. Thanks, Tim. Newton, good afternoon.
G'day. I actually asked a question last night. I asked the Mojo question. I don't know if you...
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, and when you got that was the Mojo question, and you got knocked around a bit, lampooned. Yes, because I think you used the word machismo, didn't you?
Well, I did. I don't think he understood what it was.
Well, he didn't understood. I think he just thought it was something very quaint that somebody would use the word machismo in this day and age. Nobody used the word machismo. Where the hell have you been living for the last 30 years?
Bentley, actually. He didn't seem to know where Bentley was. I mean, that's extraordinary.
Well, he didn't want to know where Bentley was. Why would he? I mean, that's his attitude.
Don't you start
no, that's his attitude. His attitude. Yes, I thought you got a hard time, Newton, but you got your question out there. David, good afternoon.